In this video, guys, I take a look at the new 2022 movie, Your Christmas or Mine. Obviously, it's a Christmas movie. Obviously, it's a rom-com. So without further ado, let's get into this review. So I thought then that this Christmas movie was actually quite good, as I know from previous experiences of watching Netflix homemade movies, they can be quite dire sometimes and quite bad. The only thing that's good about Netflix is their shows. Their movies are quite crap, to tell you the truth. But that's what I thought when walking into this. Is it going to be a bit of a sort of shit Netflix movie sort of thing? However, it turned out to be pretty good actually, as it had a good array of cast. It weren't like star-studded by any means. However, it had a good British core of casting. It had Asa Butterfield, which is popular than God knows what at the minute due to the success of Sex Education and other projects that he's been involved in. And to me, this was very appealing from just the trailer alone, as it really stood out as something like, oh, it looks similar to the likes of Love Actually, which we've reviewed. So check that down in the description. But like Love Actually in that retrospect, due to the love angles of things and due to that family sort of orientated vibe that you get from Love Actually. And to me, I just thought that this movie was just a great Christmas movie that really got you into the festive mood, and the idea that the story is so believable and you can feel the magic of Christmas in this very movie. The plot was very unique, very interesting, and very, very realistic, in the sense that it is possible for a couple to turn around in the train station and go, I want to spend Christmas with you, I want to spend Christmas with you, then decide, actually, I want to spend the Christmas with the opposite partner, and they both change their minds at the same time, get on the wrong trains, well, get on the trains that they intend to go on. However, they swap trains because he's about to go back to his parents and she's about to go to hers, and then they suddenly decide, right, I want to spend Christmas with you, and he goes, I want to spend Christmas with you. So they end up swapping trains, and one ends up going to Macclesfield, and one ends up going into this big ass manor. And to me, I just thought that element of the story was like, that's kind of realistic. That's nothing out of the blue. That's something that could possibly happen. It would be quite stupid not to make sure with the other person if it's all right to go to their house and whatever. I know that they were discussing it, Asa and Haley. Well, I just used Asa Butterfield, but his real name in this is Hubert. And I just thought that it just made sense in that retrospect that those two want to spend Christmas together for the first time and in this manner. And to me, the family elements of things make sense as well, as it's something that never gets explored in Christmas movies, and that is the divide between classes. As we see, the two different families that we are presented with is a very rich, posh Tory household, and that is obviously Hubert's household, and he's very posh, and his father's a lord, and that to me shows a bit of divide, because the opposite family, obviously Haley's family, is from Macclesfield, a very working class background, whereas that's an upper class background. And we see the divide because Haley's got to go into a house which is a posh and Tory house, which don't really treat her with that same level of respect, because obviously she's a working class and she's an upper class. And the thing is, when Asa goes to her house into Haley's house, I feel that he struggles to adapt at first, because they think I'm a bit of a weird character at first, and I think that Asa plays this character phenomenally, but also is able to present that element of working class, upper class sort of vibes, as they don't take to him, she doesn't get taken by them, and it just shows that divide in the world and in Britain between these two. And to me, it was great doing this divide, as it weren't only just good for the upper class and lower class and everything like that, and working class and shit like that. It was also good for the element of expressing how little they knew about each other, as Asa's character knew practically nothing about Haley's old boyfriends and things, because she used to be engaged, and she didn't tell her parents what was going on. And so they thought, well, she's engaged to this guy, and obviously he turned into a lunatic, and she just walked away from him. On the other side, Hubert forgot to mention a key detail, which is that the house that he's living in is a lord's house, and he just mentioned how he was, he had a big house and he was all right with money, and he weren't loaded, but he had enough money, and that weren't told to Haley that he was actually a lord and living in this fuck off mansion. So when she rocks up, she's like, whoa, this is your house, and got a butler and things like that. And it's just those little things, and the interactions between Haley's with his family and Hubert with Haley's family. I thought that was quite cool and good interactions, funny elements to this, and I thought the comedy side of things was on top. And British comedy, when you say it's top tier, is nothing like anything else. And that's what I like about Love Actually, and I mentioned how British comedy just takes it to another level. And I think, although this time they didn't have the array of casting that Love Actually did, it had a decent level of British comedians in this movie. And Asa, obviously from working on Sex Education, just fitted right into this role, as we saw him fitting into Hubert with his posh accent and things like that, because we've seen it several times before, as we've seen it in The Boy in Striped Jammers. Even though he was a young lad at the time, he was quite posh in that retrospect. And we also see that Asa is quite posh in likes of Hugo and other things that he's in, and to me, I just think he fitted into this role fantastically. We saw parts of his character Otis from Sex Education in this sort of role he played, as he had that snappy funniness to him, while also coming across quite nerdy and quite weird. And that was cool, because it was like, oh, I like Sex Education, and that sort of character belonged in this movie. On Haley, then, I thought that Cora Kirk was the fantastic actress behind her, and this was the first time I'd actually seen Cora Kirk in anything, and I thought that she was phenomenal in this movie, and to me, I think she'll go on to be a decent actress, as her chemistry with Asa was top notch, and the Hubert and Haley relationship seemed to grow and grow throughout the movie, thanks to Asa and Haley, due to Asa and Cora, in which we're just bouncing off each other phenomenally. I really enjoyed the ending as well, as I thought that the magic of Christmas really was presented at the end of the movie, where we see that Cora and we see that Asa have finally reunited together and have to put everything to bed about their secrets that they kept, because they both kept secrets, and they just went, you know what, we'll draw a line under that, no more secrets, and we'll be a couple again, and that our families can also come together and spend time at Christmas, so that we're doing it all together. And that's what this movie shows. That the class divide goes out the window when love is presented, and Love Actually presents that a lot, and so is it in this movie. And I think that from this ending, I think this ends an incredible story and a very unique Christmas movie, as a story like this hasn't really been seen before. And I would say that it is very similar to Love Actually, and it's like, if you've watched Love Actually too many times this Christmas and you just want a secondary option, this is the one for you. Your Christmas or mine, go and check it out, because it is so different from any Christmas movie you watch, and is like a backup to Love Actually. It's not got the bigger names in it, but you'll get into it, and it'll be so magical for you to watch. I also like the rest of the cast, as I thought that the likes of David Bradley, Daniel Mays, and Mark Heap were all great in this particular movie, but the rest of them, I felt that they could have done more, or none of them outside of those three really had an excellent performance in there. To summarise this romantic comedy Christmas movie, I think that this is a 7.6 out of 10 and a world-class film. So let me know down in the comments down below what your thoughts are on this particular movie. And if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be alerted to all the new content this channel creates. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.